Am I live? Oh, baby. Get me live. Yashi, we're not live, man. Why is this thing so slow? I don't get it. I just don't get it. Okay, am I live? No audio? Can you guys hear me? Someone said that you can't hear me. I'm about to throw my desktop out the window. You have 10 seconds to tell me if you can hear me. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Okay, it's good. It's good. All right, all right, all right. I'm not gonna throw my computer out. All right. Tea and cigar, midnight. Life is good. Life is great. See, it's tea. Look at that. It's not alcohol. It's tea. You can see the tea. And you know when I smoke cigars, whoo! All um the Asura Devas become active, man. I'm like, oh, bro. From March 10th, or yeah, March 10th to literally now July 10th, Jupiter will be RX, meaning retrograde. Biatch? What does that mean? So, Jupiter has now gone retrograde, and Jupiter is going to be retrograde in pretty much mostly in Nakshatra Vishaka, and it's going to be going towards Swati a little bit, towards like beginning of July. So, first of all, we ought to understand a retrograde, right? If you want to understand retrograde, and the way I'm understanding retrograde right now, you know, especially when I'm teaching my best friend, my a real estate best friend that you all met in Sedona. I'm actually giving him lessons every day, like for 3, 4 hours. I quiz him at random calls. I'm like, okay, what does this mean? What does that mean? And he's experimenting that using like Prashna and horary astrology because I'm teaching him full horary astrology as well. And he's catching up good. He's such a meticulous student. Like he's reading everything line by line, all the lessons, all the books. Like I'm telling you, because I saw the combinations in his chart last year, and I'm like, dude, as much as you hate astrology, wait till next year. You'll be getting into something of that sort. And lo behold, he came to Sedona. He spoke to Dr. Urgent Pi for maybe 15, 20 minutes, and he was like, oh my God, this thing is scary accurate. So just by me teaching him and seeing this Jupiter go retrograde and seeing some of the things that are happening with the clients, I'm like, I just learned some of the most magnificent things about Jupiter just by teaching. And guess what Jupiter is a kark of? Teaching, counseling, advising, managing. Okay, it's managing database. It's managing large amount of information. Like if you look at Bill Gates' horoscope, he has Jupiter in the third house as his 10th lord. I don't know if it's his Amatte Karka or not, but Jupiter shows taking a large amount of database and arranging it. And that's what he did with Microsoft Windows. All the data of the world is in that. I'm using this particular video through Windows. So Jupiter represents, anything that expands. It represents our wisdom. It represents teaching, counseling, advising, astrologers, psychologists, psychiatrists. So it's going retrograde. It's going in reverse. So the easiest thing that I learned, and I actually learned this from Juan Paul Manley, like literally 5 years ago now, is that Jupiter will go against the social norms of society. It will break its principle to cause something against its principle to correct things. Listen to what I'm saying here. Jupiter, when it goes retrograde, it's gonna go against its social norm, so it can go back and destroy things and change things so it can be better. Okay, so that's what Jupiter retrograde is. It's going against this tradition. So right now, what you're going to experience on a mundane basis, a lot of people will be somehow going against religion, spirituality. A lot of people will be even going against traditional boundaries of, marriage, relationships. Like if somebody's trying to date, especially a woman, especially for female, when you're going to try to date, you're going to come across very unconventional men. You're going to come across very eccentric, unconventional men. You may even come across, you date men who might be like drinking too much right now. And this is specifically matters depending upon the house that Jupiter is in your chart, from the ascendant and the moon. Now, in this particular retrograde, okay, or whenever, like, let's say Jupiter, Saturn, or a planet goes retrograde, you know how I always advocate to read the chart from the ascendant. It is like your karma is being unraveled. But what's going to happen now is that take look at your Jupiter transit from the moon. Look at Jupiter transits through the moon. Why? What is Jupiter? Wisdom, right? What affects you when there's a lesson that comes to you, right? Jupiter is a lesson, the intelligence. What is the lesson that comes to you? What does it do very first thing? That the lesson. So if let's say a teacher comes in, Kendra comes in front of me and says, okay, Kapil, I'm going to teach you this one technique. What is he trying to do? He's trying to show something that will affect my mind, that I will store in my mind. My mind, my thinking will change through that wisdom. So looking at Jupiter transit from the moon shows how Jupiter is going to be injecting its wisdom in your mind. So now the moon transit becomes important. And as always, if you do not know where Jupiter is transiting from the moon and the ascendant, just go to my website, astrologycares.com. Under shop section, you'll find, option 5 and beyond. All of them will come with like reports. So you can see where planets are placed with all the instructions. And especially if you have a birth Jupiter, which is retrograde, you will feel this far more than if your Jupiter is direct. That's another thing about retrograde and direct. Retrograde planets affect people whose planets are retrograde in their birth chart, because now what's happening is it's like you have this hole and there's a ball coming in this curvature, filling it up, fitting in. So when you have a direct planet, it's straight. When you have a retrograde planet, it's bent, like a vessel. And Jupiter's transiting, and it's like, oh, you have a retrograde Jupiter. Let me settle into this thing. So it kind of fills that mission that whatever you're supposed to experience with retrograde planet, you will experience it in this particular time when it's retrograde right now in the sky. So although it will make an effect on people whose Jupiter is direct a little bit, but specifically if your Jupiter is retrograde, you will see that. So knowing this, your mind, you got to see which sign moon is placed in. Okay, so from there, you have to see what relationship Jupiter creates with the moon. What relationship is it creating with the moon? And how do we see what relationship it is? It's kind of like a Western term when you use like trine relationship, quadrant relationship, quincunx relationship. Okay, meaning is Jupiter has a 5-9 relationship with your moon? Does Jupiter has a 3-11 relationship with your moon? Does Jupiter has a 6-8 relationship with your moon? That's where you'll be seeing the dynamics. So if let's say, for example, Jupiter is gone retrograde in Libra, okay? Your moon is in Taurus, or your moon is in Pisces. This is a time where you have to be careful of the wisdom that you receive in life, the teachers that you come across. And yes, I started teaching my friend actually 2 weeks before, so Jupiter was direct. He is getting a good teacher. Okay? Shut up. I'm a good teacher. Yeah, you stop it. I can read what you say. And I can see what you think. So, oh, look, talking about the devil himself, he just texted me. Anyway, so when you have a moon creating a 6-8 relationship with Jupiter, whether Jupiter is 6th from moon or Jupiter is 8th from moon, shows that the intelligent will be, or your ability to make decisions, wise decisions. Look at my words. Wise decisions. Wise decision may be a little bit reversed. You may make a mistake in your own wisdom towards life. Oh, I'm going to make this decision. Oh, I am going to break up with my boyfriend because this is the great time to break up with him and all of this thing. And if you have a Jupiter retrograde in your chart, and right now moon is having this 6-8 relationship, most definitely you could regret breaking up with that person. Now, of course, if that person is an alcoholic or abuses you and all that, then of course this is the time to clean out the mess in your life. But if you're just like, well, my relationship is not going anywhere and he's so busy, he's not giving me time, maybe just let me break this thing off. And this goes for same for men. Making any kind of like a trying to make a wise decision of your life will not be the greatest move. Especially this is for women, because women, Jupiter represents the man that you want to be with. Jupiter is the husband. So you're thinking about a divorce right now. Oh, you know what? I've had it with him. It's time for me to divorce. Well, let's just have some tea, have patience, make the decisions when Jupiter goes direct. Your wisdom needs to be on a direct path, not a reverse path. Because what happens is this reverse. Look at the basic context of a retrograde. When something is reversed, it is pushing you backwards in your lessons in life. So you making a decision could set you back in life. See, this is why it's important for that. Now, your Jupiter has a 5-9 relationship. Okay? So let's say Jupiter is in Libra. So let's say if you have a moon in Gemini, Jupiter is in Libra in the 5th house. It's having a 5-9 relationship with your moon. This is where you will be able to understand unconventional wisdom. So if let's say you are a Hindu, okay, you may come across a Muslim mentor, counselor, who may teach you something unconventional away from what you have learned in your past 20 years. So don't reject it. This is the time to go outside the boundaries of the culture and wisdom that you have received in your life. 5-9 relationship. You're in a dating scene, man or woman, regardless. Okay? Man or woman, regardless. What's going to happen when it comes to dating scene? Let's say let's say you are destined to marry somebody in your own culture. Fine, we get that. That's not what I'm talking about. But right now in this 4 months, you can understand you may actually come across somebody who's Asian. You're Indian, they're Korean. You're Indian, they're Caucasian. You're Indian, they're African American or something, or they're from South Africa. They're from Europe. And you date them, you're like, wow, what a fascinating culture. Oh, you guys do this. Oh, wow, this is how you perceive relationship, and this is what you think. This is unusual. I've never seen this. Usually I'm very conservative with my wisdom. So it's a great time to understand something outside. Like let's say you are an astrologer. You're a Vedic astrologer. Well, perhaps it's time you will run into some situation where a Western astrologer can give you some wisdom. So that becomes, a way to see how this 5-9 relationship is great. But again, if your birth Jupiter is retrograde, okay, that 5-9 relationship is a good relationship. But the thing is that wisdom will be very heavy for you. You'll be like, oh my God, I can't take this. This is like too much. This is scaring me. And it is going to be a scary wisdom. Why? Because Jupiter is in Vishaka. Jupiter is out there to rip things apart through lightning. Jupiter is out there to give a stroke of lightning to shake you out of your core. So, for example, if you have a retrograde Jupiter in your birth chart, okay, you have a 5-9 relationship. This Jupiter can actually make you understand detachment. You will no longer love your family members the way you have loved them before, because you understood something so profound about wisdom and knowledge and spirituality that you're like, oh my God, I can't take this. There's no way I cannot not be attached to these people. What is going on? Meaning that you can experience Kundalini awakening, third eye awakening. You suddenly realize that you're nothing but blank, black hole. You're nothing but empty space. And here you are interacting with these things in flesh and hair and eyes, and they're talking to you, and they become your mother, father, and your spouse. And you're like, oh no, what is going on? So you see how that's a good angle, but you having a retrograde Jupiter will be very heavy. Like you'll feel like, why did I even try to learn this wisdom? Are you guys getting my point? Now, if you have a 3-11 relationship, and yes, 2-12 relationship is also we'll discuss. So let's say your moon, right now Jupiter is in Libra, okay? And your moon could be in Sagittarius. Or your moon could be in Leo. That's a 3-11 relationship. This shows through some unconventional information and wisdom, you may get some sort of a gain. You will become part of a large group setting, committee, which will be very unusual in nature. So let's say you're trying to find a job while Jupiter is retrograde. You're at a place where you're kind of secure, but you're looking for a better opportunity. And you do find that a better opportunity. But the company that you go work for turns out to be something very, very unconventional. It is like, whoa, where do I start? How did I end up in this company? I'm not saying it's a good or bad situation. I'm not saying that, because that will all depend upon what ascendant you have, what moon sign you have, where is Jupiter transiting from, okay? But it will land you in a very unconventional organization. This doesn't mean that after Jupiter goes direct, that organization turns conventional. No, because you got job, you got the project at a point when Jupiter was retrograde. You are going to find managers, because Jupiter is a manager, counselor, advisors in your new organization are going to be very unconventional. Any management changes happen in your department, in your company, well, you're going to get a Vishaka person. Meaning, if a new manager comes in your office right now, I can probably say by 80% certainty that they will try to clean house. They'll say, okay, I've got to let go of 8 people out of these 20 people, because these 8 people are completely useless, and they're going to make me lose at a war that I'm trying to fight. Look at the keywords I'm using. Make me lose at a war that I'm trying to fight. Why? If you understand the mythology of the nakshatra, you'll know what I'm talking about. So yeah, if you have a Jupiter retrograde in your birth chart, you have this 3-11 relationship, you're working in a large organization, some new managers about to come in. Well, yes, you could be cleaned out with that wiping of the slate, because that's what Vishaka Jupiter will do. They will try to burn things with a one hit of the lightning. You will be put into, if let's say you go to a new organization, You're going to be put into a place where there's things are scattered. Nothing is chronologically ordered, and you are going to be responsible for putting all this chaotic mess in a chronological order. Okay. 7-11 relationship is, there's no such thing as 7-11 relationship. 7-11 is a 5-9 relationship, because 11th house is 9 places, 5 places away from 7th house, and 11th house is 9 places, or 7th house is 9 places away from the 11th house. So it's always these particular relationship, doesn't matter, you know. So that's what's going to happen. Then you see 2-12 relationship, right? Jupiter, let's say Jupiter is in Libra. So like the Leo and the Sagittarius part that I was talking about becomes a 3-11 relationship. And then Libra, Leo becomes that 2-12 relationship. Well, what this is going to do is that your wisdom, your intelligence will either make you spend more money or give you losses, meaning that you can incur more expenses, or you'll have to spend more money or give money away. But again, 2-12 relationship, unconventional way of earning money. Unconventional way of earning money through foreign sources. That's the 2-12 relationship of Jupiter. Now, I talked about the trinal relationship. Now let's also talk about Kendra. Jupiter, so let's say your moon, your Jupiter is in Libra right now, okay? Your moon is in Aries, Cancer, Capricorn. Because I'm not doing the ascendant. I'm talking about relationship from the moon. That is where it becomes extremely important. And I will make a second video of showing Jupiter, Saturn both being retrograde. You will see the magic when I make that video. I'll make it in 2-3 days. Maybe I'll just make it tomorrow night. You know, if I'm having a cigar, just pray to God that I'm smoking a cigar tomorrow night, because then this wisdom will come out like that. I'm telling you, with this wisdom, just like comes out like smoke. But a Kendra relationship is a very powerful relationship. It's this relationship of stability, okay? Because it creates a Gach Kesari yoga. So transiting Jupiter is creating a Gach Kesari yoga with your moon, meaning having the highest of intelligence to achieve your goals in life. So we got that foundation right, okay? However, Jupiter being retrograde, the foundation is going to be shaken off first. That's going to be the first thing. So Jupiter retrograde says, okay, I want to give you stability. I want to give you the fulfillment of your desires. But your foundation is weak. Either I have to destroy this thing, I have to destroy your house, bulldoze the house, and build something new. Or I better fix that, you better fix that foundation first before I do something. So Jupiter going in reverse, it's going to feel very, very, very unstable. You're going to be like, okay, my life is going haywire. What the hell? Oh, Jupiter's retrograde. Okay. But you got to understand a little bit deeper meaning to this. The deeper meaning is the instability is happening because your own foundation is not right at this moment. You've done some things in your past 2 years, 10 years, 15 years, where, or since the last Jupiter retrograde, where things are just not, you didn't take care of certain things. Jupiter saying I gotta shake this off, and I gotta build a new solid foundation on this. So let's say your moon is in Aries, okay? Jupiter is in the seventh from the moon, which is what? 1-7 relationship. 1-7 relationship is a relationship of you and the other people. Relationship, marriage, partnership. Okay. So here, if your foundation is not solid, you're gonna feel like there's some instability in my relationship. Now, does that mean you break up with that relationship? You destroy that foundation? No. I also said either you fix it and let Jupiter then give you the unorthodox wisdom to deal with things. So if, let's say, you're questioning your relationship, your husband and you and your husband, you and your wife, You guys are not in the best of terms right now. She wants something else out of life in the last 4 days, or you want something else out of life right now. This doesn't mean that you need to divorce them or leave them. Well, you need to figure out, okay, how do we find the balance in this? And how is the balance going to come? It's going to come through a very unusual, unorthodox way. Maybe you guys need to have tantric sex. Maybe you guys need to do some costume play. He becomes Stormy Daniel and you become Donald Trump. Hey, do that. Hey, maybe I should try that. I'll talk to my wife about that. No worries. Maybe I'll film it and show it to you guys. I'll charge $100 a video, so. So I know I'm alive, man. I'm alive. So that's one way to see the relationship. Um, the other one will become that 4-10 relationship. Okay. So if let's say you're, well, yeah, we did 1-7. So let's say your moon is in Cancer, or I'm sorry, yeah, let's discuss 4-10. Well, that's the same thing. If your Jupiter is in Libra, so 4-10 and 1-7 will be that same. So one deals with the relationship, one deals with your personal and your professional life. Okay, so that means you are going to be dealing with issues of the home or career due to the other factor. So something within the home could take place where it will affect the career. Something in the career is making, let's say you're working long hours. You're working long hours and things in a home are not going to be great because your wisdom is saying, oh, no, no, no. Make more money, work, work, work. Forget about your home, forget about your wife and your children. So this Jupiter retrograde, okay, it's going to say that, look, I am in a Gaj Kesri yoga with your moon. So I do want to help your moon, but I'm going to shake something off. Either you quit your job and pay more attention to the home, or perhaps I'm going to have to make you get fired, and so you can pay more attention to the home. Or what you can do is work less hours in your career and pay more attention to your home. Same thing in reverse. Your boss is complaining about, you're leaving too early and your projects are not being finished, and you're like, well, I'm fixing these things at home, I'm fixing these things at home. So that 4-10 relationship dynamic plays out like Rahu Ketu. They both have access to both houses. So that is the relationship that occurs with the Kendra. And I'm only saying all this with retrograde. If Jupiter wasn't retrograde, I would be singing Kumbaya with you guys. I would be, having I will share cigar with all the thousands of people. But retrograde simply means the reversal of wisdom. So if Jupiter is direct, Jupiter says, let's study Bhagavad Gita to understand God. But now Jupiter says, you know what? Let me take you to the slums and let me show you some violence that is happening in the street so I can teach you wisdom. So I can teach you that life is not all about sitting in a beautiful, a place with a great incense and you learn about God and that's all life is. No, let me show you where a 5-year-old child is carrying a AK-47 and they're about to kill their own father on behalf of their gang. That's life. Do you want to understand God? Let's see that. That's the wisdom. And especially when Jupiter is retrograde, do not insult anybody. Do not insult anybody. Especially publicly, do not insult anybody. Don't go after somebody purposely, because this reverse, what is happening? Your intelligence is not working. This reverse will expand your own downfall. Remember, Jupiter is expansion. So whatever you're putting out is going to reverse. You're putting out insulting someone, defaming someone, it's gonna come back to you. So these are the dynamics of a retrograde planet in the sky. Now we will then add the dynamics of Saturn being retrograde. Saturn's going to go retrograde. So then we can see that double transit effect of Saturn, right? Their double aspect of Saturn. I don't know if I have time to just go over every ascendant. That's just going to take too much time. Because I got something very important going on. I'm in the middle of NBA playoffs. I'm in game 5. So shut up. I got important things to do here. But wherever your Jupiter is from the moon, that is the most important, because wisdom affects the mind more than the body. Okay? Wisdom affects the mind more than the body. This is why Gaj Kesari Yoga is formed. This is why relationship between Jupiter and moon is always seen in a birth chart. You see, can you handle intelligence? Like if your moon has a 6-8 relationship in the birth chart with your Jupiter, you don't have the intelligence to execute what you learn. Your execution of whatever you learn will, first of all, give you downfall, then gives you uprise. Okay? So anyway, guys, it's literally almost 1 o'clock here, but I'm up. You know, with tea and everything, I'm good. I'm up. I'm ready to go. So hopefully this has helped you guys. You know, if you're new to this channel, subscribe here. Also subscribe to my original channel, KR's channel on YouTube. And if you need consultations or reports, go to my website, astrologycares.com. And that's my show for today. All right. Any other garbage you want to hear from me? I'm here for another 20 seconds. Nah, Twitch sucks. Twitch? Yeah, trust me, I've looked into Twitch. Twitch is full of like 10-year-olds, 8-year-olds, 12-year-olds, 13-year-olds. Yeah, they're not gonna understand it. They're not gonna care anything about Vedic astrology. So anyway, we'll see you later. Shut up.